All right, and joining me today is Mansur Abdul-Malik, who fights Dusko Todorovic at UFC Vegas 100. That fight is on November 9th. So, Mansur, I wanted to start here. Obviously just got the contract on Contender Series, big moment in your career. When we talked before the Contender Series, you sounded almost like you expected it, like you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
Were you at all surprised at sort of how easy you got him out there? Like, not that you don't go through adversity at points in time, but it seemed like there was none in that fight.
not at all. Not at all. I wasn't surprised about it, man. If I've worked for something and I prayed for it in the ways that I prayed for it, it's expected. So that's why there was no celebration. Also, like obviously I was happy. Obviously I was grateful, but I've seen it. I've seen it so many times, and I just knew it was going to happen. I'm grateful that it happened. I'm thankful that it happened. But now that's over. That's done. Now we focus on the next one.
Absolutely. I'm assuming you're sitting there in the chair. No worries there either, because you pound somebody out like that. But did you get a chance to have any words with the boss man, being his new employee, the person who probably impressed him the most? What did he have to say about the fight?
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of his reaction, and he was excited, and I saw there was a smile on his face. He came inside the octagon and everything, and it was just like that. The words that we had, it shook his hand. It was a nice first time greeting him. I was just elated the entire time. I was just taking it all in that moment, and I'm so grateful to be a part of the UFC, man. But that gratefulness and that gratitude is gonna be transferred into my performance. I don't want to be one of these guys that has this beautiful night. Okay, you got the contract, everything's good, and now you think that it's done. Now you think that it's over. This is where it begins. This is where it starts. So I'm so happy that all of these things have happened. I'm so happy that Dana White's my new boss, all the bells and whistles and everything. But that's like in the back of my mind, man. I'm ready to go and I'm ready to fight. Like, this is my last fight. I'm ready to fight like this is my first and last fight at the same time. So I'm going to go in here with some vigor, man. I'm ready to go.
I love it. I love it. Now you mentioned, being grateful in the moment and kind of having to put it behind you. Did you get a chance to go out and celebrate with your manager, your team, stuff like that?
Literally that dinner. It was nice. It was good. I was able to eat a little bit. But then the next morning, literally that next morning, I was at practice training and drilling. So no missteps, no missed beats. I was right back on it, man.
I love it. Now, and I'm assuming that's a big part of why this turnaround is one of the fastest on the season. So far, the only one to debut off this season is Cody Haddon, who bantamweight, who similar to you didn't take very much damage and a pretty quick win. Did you have any limitations going back to training? Were there any bumps and bruises, or was it just basically you had a day of training in the cage?
None, man, none. That's and thank you for saying that because that's treated. It's like going into that cage and going to that octagon. That's another opportunity for you to get better. I feel like people train, and okay, now the fight's here. Now I can do whatever. That's an opportunity within itself to get better up here, to get better technically, to increase your fight IQ, to increase that experience. But I feel like if you don't take it as an opportunity of benefit, then you won't get that benefit from it. So I just took it as that. No bumps, no bruises. I'm ready to go, man. But then also like the lifestyle that I live also enabled me to have this quick turnaround. I'm always in the gym, man. I'm always in the gym. I'm always in shape. I'm always focused on my diet. Whether my weight fluctuates or not, I'm always focused on my, but also I'm excited to do it. I want to be in there. I swear to God, like I love the training. I love all the other aspects of MMA, but there's nothing more beautiful than stepping foot inside of that cage. That's where it all comes together. And I just wanted that feeling again. I need to get in there again as soon as possible. So now here I am, November 9th. I'm going to get them.
I love it. Now, I want to take you back to something you said in there about it being a learning experience because, you were up against, a very unconventional opponent. Wes Schultz does some kind of goofy things when he's grappling. He throws some weird looks at you on the feet. And again, you said no bumps and bruises, but were there any big takeaways from the fight that you felt, were things that you had to learn from or moments that you took away?
Big moments that I took away from it. I would say the way I conducted myself when it came to that second round. I had never been to a second round in my career. That was like the big narrative, right? How is he going to do in the second round? Is he going to break apart? Is he going to become something else? I was the exact same. It was the exact same. And I came in there and I was ready to get that finish in that second round. So I was just happy and proud of the way that I conducted myself in that moment because I knew it. I expected it. I knew what I was capable of, but I was able to kind of silence a lot of doubters. But then again, once you silence doubters, more come. So it is what it is. But I was grateful that I was able to see that and I was able to be in that moment and take it for what it was and still finish them.
I like that a lot. Now, you mentioned, your lifestyle allows you to do this quick turnaround. Your mindset allows you to do this quick turnaround. But obviously, the other piece of that is getting a contract sent to you. So, how vocal were you and your management team in saying, we want to fight by the end of the year? How quick do we need one?
That was the entire conversation, man. That night, I'm talking about when can I get in there again? They're talking about how soon do you want to be in there again? I'm like, immediately. So November 9th, here we are, a few weeks away, and I just can't wait, man. Like, I swear it's on my mind every single day, but not in a bad way. Not like, oh my God, I'm dreading this, I got to handle this. It could be tonight, and I would still fight him the exact same way. But man, I'm just so happy. Like I literally have a smile on my face every single day. And as it inches closer, as the time winds down, I just get more and more free. I just have this brightness on my face. And I love it so much. I love every single thing that I'm doing right now, every single thing that I'm a part of. I love my teammates. I love my coaches and every single person that's helped me. I feel like there's no pressure. There's literally, I can't understand how guys are like, wound up and oh my God, it's so stressful. Forget all of that. Like this is a beautiful opportunity. How many people in the world get to do what they love at a high level, and get paid for it and just be here in this moment. So I'm just taking it for what it is, man. I love it. I love it to death.
That's awesome to hear. Now, of course, you do finally get that contract. They say November 9th. Now, I do want to ask, like you said you'd fight him tomorrow. You'd fight anybody tomorrow. You'd get in there as soon as you could. What was short notice on the mind too? Like I know you're a cerebral guy, and I know you like to think about your fights. But was
Yes.
short notice another possible ability in there?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And I tell you what, I had to make a strategic decision because my young fighter mind is like, okay, I'll fight him tonight. I'll fight him tomorrow. I'll fight him after dinner. But then I'm like, let me think about this correctly. Let me smell the roses a little bit, just a tiny bit, just to get a good whiff of the roses. Then get back into it. Then get back into the flow of things. Make sure that I'm doing things correctly. Make sure that my weight descent happens in the correct ways again. So this was the perfect time frame for everything to be brought back together again, and the fastest that it could be brought back together again. So I'm grateful. I'm happy with this time frame. Yeah.
Awesome. And then obviously the other piece of all of this is the opponent's name. So they come to you with the name Dusko Todorovic, not just a guy who's, debuting like you, a guy who's been kicking around the UFC for quite a while. A lot of his recent wins are quick finishes, quick first round finishes. What were sort of your thoughts that like that's where they wanted to debut in this division?
Foaming at the mouth. Foaming at the mouth, man. All that stuff that you just said motivates me more. I'm like, okay, he's been in the UFC. He's not just a debuting guy. He's a veteran of the sport. X, Y, and Z. I don't care. Like, but in like the most respectful way. Like, I don't care about that stuff. I see it as a beautiful opportunity. What happens when I go out here and finish him as well? Then more people start getting on the bandwagon, getting on the fan train, whatever it is. It's all noise to me, man. It's all noise to me. I'm just excited. I respect my opponent for accepting the fight because I'm a contender guy. I'm just coming fresh off a contender series. He didn't have to take this fight, but he did. And now we're gonna go out here and have some fun, and we're gonna compete, and it's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna get that victory again, God willing, and I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go. I don't know how many times I've said it on these interviews with you, man. Oh, I swear to God. But all that stuff that he poses as an opponent, that he poses as a man and as a competitor, I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful storm that's being brewed for me, and I'm grateful for it.
I dig it. Well, you led me pretty much perfectly to my last question. I love ending these things with a prediction. So it's UFC Vegas 100, November 9th. How's this one end?
God throwing victory. Me getting my hand raised as usual, but in a much more precise way. I'd like to think of myself now as much more of a professional. Quick finishes, clean work, clean effort. composure. And as I've done all these things before, but you can always tighten things up a little bit more, be a little bit more precise, be a little bit more free. The idea of perfection will never be obtained, but the more you chase it, the better you get. So I'm just focused on making everything much better than it was previous. And then the fight after this, God willing, it's going to be the exact same game plan.
I love it, and you heard it here first, folks. This has been Mansur Abdul-Malik, who fights Dusko Todorovic, UFC Vegas 100. Once again, that fight, November 9th. Mansur, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. I love being on these with you.